Hey there and welcome. My name is Pete and today I'll show you 5 things that you might have missed in Mirror's Edge. Number 1. The first appearance of Jacknife. Former runner Jacknife appears very early on in the game, in the 2nd chapter. You will likely see him for the first time after exiting onto the rooftops near the end of the chapter. However, if you look hard enough, he can actually be spotted a bit earlier while Faith rides the crane out of the storm drains. Here he is, standing on the small ledge on the Callahan construction building, seemingly watching Faith and her subsequent battle with the guards in the area. So it comes at no surprise that once Faith finally reaches the rooftop, Jacknife does not seem surprised in the slightest. Almost like he knew Faith was coming. Number 2. The Giant Rat. Possibly the most well-known Easter egg in Mirror's Edge, the giant rat can still be easily missed. In Chapter 8, after picking up the sniper rifle, Faith waits for the prisoner escort with her sister Kate on board to appear. After shooting the truck, it crashes and it seems like a good idea to run downstairs and help a potentially injured Kate. However, if the sniper rifle is used to fire at the white dot in the middle of the orange sign above the street, a giant rat appears and rushes down the road. It has no effect on gameplay or story and seems to go unnoticed by everyone except for Faith, so we can safely assume it only exists for the amusement of the player. Number 3. The tie me to a chair and beat me up email. Shortly before reaching the secret Project Icarus training grounds in Chapter 6, Faith can read a rather long email on the computer screen in the offices with the cargo elevator control. In this email, a certain Mark Schoenherr states that he no longer wants to work for Pirandello Kruger after it was bought by Travis Burfield. He says that he is no longer sure that PK is actually a legitimate corporation anymore and explicitly mentions that he is going to quit. He ends his message with the words, "It's not like they can tie me to a chair and beat me up for quitting my job." A little earlier in the level, just before falling down with the yellow platform, Mark Schoenherr is being requested into the shift supervisor's office via intercom.
To Mark Schoenherr, please report to the shift supervisor's office. Mr. Mark Schoenherr, thank you.
Just moments later, we can find a note on a desk, very likely Mark's, that asks him to call HR, because they want to talk to him. Jumping back to after the email, as Faith makes her way down the corridor leading to the training grounds, we can spot a figure in a cell, tied to a chair and possibly beaten up. Seems like Mark's little joke at the end of his email quickly became a grim reality. Number 4. The mysterious assassin outside of the New Eden Mall. In Chapter 4, Faith witnesses the death of Travis Burfield, aka Roburn, at the hands of a masked assassin. Burfield was supposed to meet this very assassin in the New Eden Mall, and so Faith makes her way there in Chapter 5. While doing so, it is possible to see a figure running on the rooftop next to Faith, a figure that looks incredibly similar to the assassin from the chapter before. Moments later, it turns out that Faith's arrival at the mall has been expected, maybe because someone watched her on the entire way there. Number 5. The reference to Battlefield Bad Company. Also in Chapter 5, Faith escapes the police into an elevator at the very beginning of the level. The news screen inside that elevator mentions an armed conflict in Sadaristan. This is clearly a reference to another game developed by EA DICE, as Sadaristan is a fictional country appearing in Battlefield Bad Company. The wording of the news piece also suggests that US intervention in the country has not yet happened, which would place the events of Mirror's Edge somewhere at the beginning or even before the timeline of Bad Company. And that's it. Those were 5 things that you might have missed in your playthrough of Mirror's Edge. I hope you enjoyed this little mix of trivia and Easter eggs, and if you'd like to see more Mirror's Edge, check out my completionist playthrough of the game, where we complete the storyline on hard difficulty while simultaneously grabbing all runnerbacks and on top of that, all story-related achievements. Simply click the video on screen to get started. Also, feel free to have a look at my other content, and of course, if you like what I'm doing, leave a thumbs up, a comment, or subscribe to the channel. And that's it for my part. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.